What's happening, people? What's happening? Manchester United 2, Burnley 2. Darren Fletcher, obviously his first game as the caretaker manager. And guys, you know what? Yeah, I'm actually in two minds. Well, I say two minds. I'm in a good mood, and I'm kind of disappointed as well. I think first things first. I think let's start off with the negatives. I think let's get the negatives out the way. Yeah. So for me, the Darren Fletcher appointment for me is, you know, I think if Darren Fletcher is here for a couple of games, it's not so much of a big problem for me. And I would say that from how he set his team up today, I think it's safe to say that Darren Fletcher, for me, it's a good feel-good factor, you would say, for the first game. But there's no way Darren Fletcher, for me, can be anything longer than couple of games. I think Man United's next two games are Man City and Arsenal. And for me, they're two games that I want to see Manchester United pick up points. It's a must, yeah. So let's start off with the negatives. So first things first, yeah. What I'm gonna say, his lineup of so he played what? He played the back four, and what will be interesting to see as well is the amount of chances United had in this system, because in that three at the back 3-4-2-1 that Amorim was playing, I don't remember United creating too many chances, but this game against Burnley, United had a lot of chances. I think Sesko in the end had about 7 shots on goal, and obviously got the 2 goals. But let's start off with the lineup. Big up to Fitz, big up to Jude Fenwick as well. So let's start off with the lineup, guys. So Lissandro and Aiden Heaven at centre back. I mean, Lenny Yoro has been struggling as of late, so I wasn't really surprised to see Heaven and Lissandro. Obviously, De Ligt's out injured. Harry Maguire's out injured as well, so there's no surprise there. And then we look at right back Dallo. Yeah, Mazraoui's away, obviously on AFCON. And then left back Luke Shaw. Yeah, that was to be expected. The midfield two of Casemiro, Ugarte. I think a lot of people would have liked to have seen Kobe start, but that was never going to happen. If you're thinking of Darren Fletcher's first game, he's going to want a bit of protection in that midfield. So you got a Casemiro in the midfield. Yep, expected that. Now moving forwards into the obviously the United played the 4-2-3-1. Now this is where I think Darren Fletcher showed his inexperience in terms of the being caretaker manager at Manchester United, because when you've got a player like Cunha, yeah, we all know Cunha's a maverick. So Cunha's someone that needs the freedom to to get on the ball and just create from deep, run with the ball and just be like what Mavericks do, be the go-to player. Now, the fact that Bruno Fernandes did come back into the team, and I know people are going to tell me Bruno got the assist, and let's have it right, yeah? Bruno Fernandes does get numbers. We all know that, yeah? And to be fair, his assist for Benjamin Sesko was a very good assist. But is there any surprise why, you take out, you bring Bruno Fernandes back into the team and Cunha struggles, And to think that Darren Fletcher, yeah, played Matthias Cunha as a right winger, why he would play Matthias Cunha as a right winger and then put Dorgu left wing, for me, he was trying to do the whole back in the day 4-4-2 round the outside and put crosses in for Sesko, yeah? Now, this is about knowing your players. Matthias Cunha is a former striker, yeah? Someone now that plays more as a number 10. So again, if you want to get better from Matthias Cunha, either play him in the 10 or play him on the left inverting. The fact that he played, Newcastle just scored a winner. Harvey Barnes. My God, they've come from behind 3 times and they've got the winner, Harvey Barnes. Oh my God. So yeah, so Matthias Cunha, guys, yeah, you either play him on the left inverting or you play him as the 10. To think that Darren Fletcher, and again, this is Darren Fletcher showing his inexperience to play Matthias Cunha as a right winger, Dorgu as a left winger, and Bruno in the 10. And again, the first half wasn't good. You know, the first half was a massive concern. The first goal from Burnley, the deflection from Aiden Heaven. I think I think these things kind of happen, you know. And what I would say is the first half was a concern, but this is why Darren Fletcher, for me, he's got. I mean, is he going to take charge of the Man City and the Arsenal game? I'm not too sure, but I think he can't be the long term vision for Manchester United. I think if it's a couple of games, then fair enough. But there's no chance that Darren Fletcher should be the permanent appointment, and this is why. Obviously, you guys have seen the thumbnail anyway. You know, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, Michael Carrick looking like they're in the frame to take over and be the next manager of Manchester United to the end of the season. So we're going to get into that in a bit anyway. So that was the one negative I would say from Darren Fletcher. The 2-2 draw against Burnley. You know, Man United should be going to Burnley really and put in a couple of goals past them if he made a couple of changes. You know, the lineup I wasn't really that impressed with, but I think considering that it was his first game, I think what else did we actually kind of expect? Now, let's go into the positives, yeah? Let's go to the positives. Because again, I was content with that, you know. I mean, 2-2 is not a great result against a Burnley side, but what I would say is there was positive signs, you know. Sesko struggled in the first half, but then the 2 goals he scored, the second one was a great finish, and again, that's going to do well for Sesko's confidence. And what I would say about Benjamin Sesko, yeah, his movement in the box is very good. You know, to think that he's been a massive upgrade for me on Rasmus Højlund, which isn't hard. That's the positive immediately for me, you know. And I look at Benjamin Sesko, and I think his movement today, as I said, was very good. He got the 2 goals that he deserved. The last one where he scuffed a shot into the ground, you know, you're probably looking at that thinking that, yeah, he should have probably put that away. But I think on the whole, I think Benjamin Sesko can be satisfied, you know, with the second half. As I said, the first half wasn't great, but he got 2 goals, and that's what he's going to be looking at, yeah? Shea Lacey. Let me tell you now about Shea Lacey, yeah? Shea Lacey has got a bit of Phil Foden in him. I can see traits of Phil Foden in Shea Lacey. And this Shea Lacey has to be part of the first team squad. I've seen enough of Shea Lacey, yeah? Not just tonight, but there was another game he came on. And there's little things that you can tell that there's a top footballer in Shea Lacey. It's the way he receives the ball. You know, the way he can manipulate the ball in terms of going past the player. So for me, immediately, he needs to be part of Man United's first team squad. You know, give him minutes here, there. But he needs to be part of that first team squad because that guy, he's definitely got something, Shea Lacey. He has definitely got something. And as I said, the shot that he hit the bar, you know, great technique, great power on the shot, just unlucky. And again, guys, when someone hits the bar, that gets counted as offside, by the way, yeah? So, but listen, he's definitely got something. So, for me, Shea Lacey needs to be, he needs to be in his first team squad, you know? Guys, keep your questions and comments coming through. I will definitely get back to your questions and comments once I've finished discussing what I'm going to discuss. So, yeah, the positives, Benjamin Sesko getting 2 goals. Shea Lacey, get him involved in that first team squad. I thought Patrick Dorgu was good. Again, the fact that I think Fletcher played Dorgu on the left-hand side is because I think Fletcher's trying to do this whole back in the day 4-4-2, go around the outside of your fullback and get crosses in. Again, I think football's moved past that, but I think Fletcher probably wanted to try something. But then you have to look at the fact that if you're going to play Dorgu like that, you're going to be losing out on someone like Cunha. And then in the second half, he did change it. Bruno went more to the right-hand side, and then Cunha went more in the 10. But for me, if you're going to play the 4-2-3-1 and you've got those 3 players in those positions, just play Dorgu on the right, let him cut in. Play Cunha on the left, let him cut in. And if you want to play Bruno in the 10, then fair enough, yeah? So the positives, as I said, Sesko, Shea Lacey, Patrick Dorgu. The fact that Xerxes and Kobe came onto the pitch. Again, Kobe came on, yeah, and I tell you now, Kobe came on with a point to prove. And I think the big thing about Kobe, yeah, is that the thing about Kobe for me, yeah, is that Kobe came onto that pitch and tried to dictate the tempo. And immediately you can see in a change of system, Kobe felt more at ease. You know, you can tell he was trying to marshal that midfield with Ugarte. And just going on to Ugarte, I'm not a fan of Ugarte, not one bit, yeah. I think Ugarte is poor. But tonight, Ugarte was very good. I thought he was very good in terms of his ball winning. As we know, Ugarte isn't the most graceful of players on the ball. But I think someone like Ugarte, you know, I think you have to give credit where credit's due. And I thought Ugarte was very good. And yeah, I thought in terms of his ball winning, that's what he's in the team for. So I was happy with Ugarte. Do I think Ugarte is a future Manchester United player? No way, nowhere near it. But I think in terms of what he done tonight, you know, he has the right to start the next game, if we're being honest. But we're going to get into the team selection anyway. What else was good? Lamens in goal, you know, didn't really have much to do. I think the own goal, he couldn't really do much with that. But I definitely think, I definitely think there was definitely positives. The Shea Lacey, the Sesko with the 2 goals, Xerxes and Kobe Mainu getting onto the pitch again, looking more positive. Patrick Dorgu again. But the biggest positive for me, guys, yeah, the biggest positive for me was the fact that Darren Fletcher took off Bruno Fernandes, you know, and I don't want that to be lost, yeah. The very fact that Darren Fletcher made poor decisions for me in that first half, the fact he took Bruno Fernandes off, and again, people might say it's because Bruno's been injured, they're managing his minutes, but I've seen games under Ten Hag and under Amorim where Bruno's been tired, playing every game, probably picked up a slight knock, and they've kept him on for the whole game. The very fact that Darren Fletcher brought him off, and again, he brings on Mason Mount, yeah? And Mason Mount really come on and done nothing. But what I would say, the fact that he's identified that, to me, it seems like it's going to be either Bruno or Mount is a positive. Because if you're going to take off Bruno, if you're going to take off Mount and bring on Bruno, or vice versa, then I haven't got really too much of a problem with either one of them. You know, for me, it's one of them things where those 2 players, for me, need to be fizzled out of the team. But if it's going to be one or the other, then fair enough, you know. But yeah, what I would say, that was a positive to see that Darren Fletcher had the balls to take off Bruno Fernandes. You know, it's a positive for me. And yeah, I'm happy with the decisions that he done. But the first half, in terms of playing Cunha on the right-hand side, that was a major blunder for him. And there's no surprise why Cunha didn't play well, you know, and then obviously Cunha come off as well. Now, moving forwards, guys, I'm gonna get onto your questions and comments in a minute. I think the team selection is gonna be a massive headache, because if we look at Darren Fletcher's selection tonight, yeah, and obviously if we're looking at the fact that Ollie and Carrick are the front runners to be taken over, yeah, I think the main thing for me that I'm looking at is Bruno Fernandes comes back in and starts the game straight away, and obviously he did come off, yeah. But when Ahmad and Mbeumo come back, and you're playing the 4-2-3-1, and then you've got Kobe in there that wants to get back into the team, Xerxes as well. Does that mean because Sesko's got 2 goals, Xerxes now got to spend longer time on the bench? So to fit in Xerxes, Sesko, Ahmad, Mbeumo, Cunha, Bruno, Mount, Kobe Mainu, Casemiro, Ugarte, yeah. And what's he gonna do with Dorgu? Is Dorgu now a winger, or is he gonna go back and play in his position as a left back? I think the team selection is gonna be a massive headache for whoever's in charge. You know, I know the team that I will play personally. You know, for me, if you're playing a 4-2-3-1, I'd have Kobe and Casemiro as the midfield 2, because it's a different kind of requirement for that position. You know, Kobe can dictate, Casemiro can play a bit more box to box, But again, he can play slightly deeper and reserve his legs, you know. And you can see tonight as well, with this change of system, there wasn't so many gaps opening up, which meant that Casemiro had to do a lot of running. So I'd play him and Kobe as a 2. And then if you want to bring on Ugarte, you know, for the legs later on in the game, for Casemiro, fair enough. In the 10, I've always said I want to see Ahmad in the 10, Mbuemo on the right, Cunha on the left, and Xerxes up top, or a Sesko. You know, I want to see different combinations. One game a week. I want to see them combinations to see what those guys can do, because we were never going to see that under Ruben Amorim. But Fletcher has shown that he's not scared to take off Bruno Fernandes. You know, he's shown that you know, he's quickly got Kobe back into the fold. You know, you look at obviously Xerxes coming on as well. Again, I would have preferred to see Xerxes start the game, but I think against City and Arsenal, I think the fact that Sesko got the 2 goals, you know, I think probably those two. I think probably Sesko probably will start next game. So we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, let's go on some of your comments anyway. Guys, let me know what you thought of tonight's game. Make sure you're smashing the like button as well. And make sure you're subbing to the channel. Yeah, I'm all good, man. All good. Big up to Babs1 Diva. Big up to Fitz LCN as well. Big up to Foxy Danny as well. Says hi, Gav. Big up. Had a 3-hour exam today on psychology. That's mad. That's mad. Boy, I would have fallen asleep at that. I ain't gonna lie. So there ain't no positives drawing with a team that's going to get relegated. Oh, how standards have dropped. But again, the same people that are saying standards have dropped, they dropped when the majority of the fan base decided to try and keep Ruben Amorim. So I don't want to be hearing that the standards have dropped, because, you know, on my channel, I've never shied away from saying that the standards are at an all-time low. And the fact that Ruben Amorim was kept for the amount of time that he was, that's why the standards are low. I mean, the positive to take out of tonight, as I said, isn't the result, but there's positives in terms of Bruno coming off the pitch, you know, Shea Lacey coming on and doing like a little cameo when he came on, Kobe coming on as well, getting more game time, you know, Sesko getting 2 goals. So again, there was positives in that aspect, but if you're saying that the team have drawn against Burnley, I mean, that's obvious, you know what I mean? So, it is what it is. Gav, what is your thoughts on Amorim being sacked? He should have been sacked last season, as I said. If there's any fans that think Amorim should have stayed in charge, then, as I keep saying, like, you guys are obviously just doing too much, because he's the worst. I told you he was the worst manager in the league, along with, well, I won't even say Rob Edwards is the worst manager in the league, because Rob Edwards has got a poor Wolves team, and look at what he's doing with a poor Wolves team. Do you think Amorim could do anything with that Wolves team? So my thoughts on Amorim being sacked should have been done a long time ago, you know. And Amorim has saved, well, I say saved, yeah. He's got himself 15 million payoff, yeah. But the amount of times he got away with it is criminal. But let's move on from Ruben Amorim. He's now gone. We've got Darren Fletcher in at the moment as caretaker for a couple of games. Now we need to look forward and see what Ineos's plans are. Obviously, all the talk is about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and Carrick, you know, and that needs to be to the end of the season if they want to bring those 2 in. And then you go and get a, you know, a De Zerbi, a Glasner, an Iraola. You know, Zidane's my top choice, has always been, but that's unrealistic, I think. A Xavi. You go and get a manager like that for me. So, yeah, my thoughts on Amorim being sacked, thank God, you know. Yeah, I couldn't fault Ugarte tonight, to be fair. Yeah, Ugarte was very good. Yeah, he was very good, Ugarte. I think when we're saying he was very good, I think in terms of what you expect of Ugarte, you know, this is why I think he was decent, because, you know, he was breaking up the play, giving it to the better players. And the amount of times he intercepted the ball as well, you know, he has to be respected for that, because he's not a great player, Ugarte. But as I said, there's no way he should be at Manchester United for the long term. But you have to give credit where credit's due. And And as I said, I think it's one of them things for me where, yeah, he can be happy with his performance, but the result's disappointing. But there is positives for sure in terms of some of the performances from certain players, you know. But again, Man United need to be a lot better against teams like this for me. I'm waiting to see who's next before I take that sub as a positive. If Ollie gives Bruno the keys back, it's all for nothing. Yeah, big up Fitz, man. I hear that. I hear that. And this is the problem. This is why, you know, again, I don't want Ollie coming to the club, you know, but it's looking like they're targeting Ollie as the interim to the end of the season. For me, you know, I'd like Carrick personally, because the very fact that Carrick was a ball playing midfielder, you can only think that, you know, he'll go with the players that are a bit reminiscent of how he sees football. But if it's going to be an Ollie and a Bruno together, then fair enough. I think we have to just ride it out to the end of the season. But yeah, I don't want to see Bruno have no keys. As I said, Bruno gave a very good assist to Sesko for the goal. But is there any surprise that Bruno comes back into the team and Cunha looks poor? There's not a surprise, because Cunha needs to be the guy that everything runs through. And as I said, when those guys come back from AFCON, you're gonna see what's really going on with the team, because any manager now has got a selection headache. Because if Ahmad and Mbeumo come back, if he's not gonna play Ahmad in the 10, one of them's gonna be on the bench. And I think because Mbeumo gets goals, you're expecting Mbeumo to be there. So Ahmad, what's gonna happen to him? Is he gonna be on the bench now? You know, there's people calling for Dorgu to be starting ahead of Ahmad. Like, that's crazy for me, you know. So there's going to be a selection headache. But one thing that can't happen is, yeah, Ollie or Carrick, whoever, cannot be given the keys to Bruno. But again, if Carrick does come in, Carrick's already shown that he's dropped Bruno anyway. So let's just hope that that carries on, you know. Tonight, Sesko looked great when he was acting on instincts, but given time, he seems to overthink. You know what? Yeah, you know what? I didn't really want Sesko, as you already know, but I've seen things of Sesko where, you know, there is something there with Sesko. The thing that I don't agree with is that I don't believe Sesko should be getting more game time than Joshua Zirkzee. I don't believe that should be the case, but. Again, he's got 2 goals tonight, and you're going to hear people saying that he deserves to be starting the next game. And I hear that, but Zirkzee, for me, needs to be getting more game time, because, you know, coming off the bench and trying to get into the game as a sub is not easy. You know, you got to try and pick up the pace of the game, which is difficult. But as I said, yeah, I think He was a lot better in the second half. The first half, you know, he was losing the ball. But again, whatever Fletcher said to him at half time, you know, gave them a bit of a positive kind of momentum. Guys, I'm just checking the league table right now, yeah, and look at that. So Newcastle, yeah, were in. I think not too long ago, Newcastle were in 14th, yeah. Look at that now. Brentford are 5th, Newcastle are 6th, United are 7th. Chelsea at 8th, Fulham at 9th, Sunderland at 10th. And look at that, Fulham, yeah? Fulham, I believe, were 15th. Fulham are 1 point behind United in 9th. You see how crazy it is? And United's next 2 league games are City and Arsenal. So Fulham could jump above United. Sunderland are 10th as well on 30 points. And guys, this sounds... And Sunderland are 10th on 30 points. There's 4 points in it. It's crazy, man. Crazy league. I'm telling you. To think Brentford are 5th is mad. You know what I mean? So, Gav, any updates of who will be the next manager for Man United? I think everything's pointing towards Solskjaer and Carrick combination. And that's why I've got them in the thumbnail, you know, Carrick and Ollie combo, you know. So, again, I don't really want Ollie. I think Ollie's been here already. He got sacked. He got sacked in his last job as well in Turkey. So I don't really understand why Solskjaer should be given another opportunity. But I think it's one of them things for me where, yeah, it is what it is. It is what it is. These guys just can't be. Well, Ollie and Carrick cannot be a long-term appointment, and I don't think they will be anyway. You know. So yeah, I think Solskjaer and Carrick are the front runners. I'm surprised there's nothing about Xavi really. I think Xavi's one really is because Xavi doesn't want an interim. He wants to be knowing that he's installed as a favourite come the you know what I mean, come the end of the season. You know, he obviously want to get the job, so I don't think he's gonna accept coming here as an interim with there's no possibility of him taking over, you know. At least Ollie will make us laugh, you know. Yeah, I hear it. But yeah, listen, I'm not here to be laughing with Man United, man. We've got 2 games coming up against City and Arsenal. You know, we need to be picking up points in them games, especially the Arsenal games. So yeah, we need to just be serious. And as I keep saying, you know, Darren Fletcher, you know, some poor selections, but you know, there is some positive to take from that, you know. Do you think Man United played well tonight? It depends what you mean by playing well. Do I think the first half was good? No, but I'm putting the first half down to a couple of things. As I said, Cunha playing as a right winger. I don't really know why that happened. You know, Sesko couldn't hold the ball to get the midfield into the game. You know, the own goal by Heaven. I mean, these things happen, so I'm not really gonna take that have that against Heaven because Heaven's been good, and that was just unlucky. But the second half, you know, United had chances, and again, I would love to know the chance count in the second half or the whole game to see how many Man United had in this system. That's what I'd like to know. So, yeah. I thought it was a decent performance, but again, you have to be beating the likes of Burnley, you know. Bro, what on earth happened to Ruben? Boy, unless you've been under a rock, man, I don't know. He got sacked. He got sacked, and rightfully so. But I don't know where you've been hiding, man. How's it going, mate? Still think they get into the Arsenal squad? Of course. I think, as I said, man, 13 players get into Arsenal squad. They do. Like, I can tell you why they'll get in, you know. But if you're looking at it because United are behind Arsenal in the league, and that's why you're saying that they won't get into Arsenal's squad, then it's a dumb way of looking at things. Because if you look at your wide players, for argument's sake, yeah, there's not one wide player that's better than what we've got, and that's including Saka. There's not. Mbeumo, Cunha, Ahmad, they're, as a collection, they're better than Martinelli, Trossard, and Saka, and Madueke. They are. So they get in straight away. So yeah, I don't know what we're doing here, man. Yeah, let's go through the starting 11. If you want to say starting 11, it's a different conversation. But you mentioned squad, and as I said, are you going to tell me Gyökeres is better than Xerxes and Sesko? Because he's not. Gabriel Jesus ain't either. Neither is Kai Havertz. So Xerxes and Cunha get in, and Xerxes and Sesko get in there. I just told you Mbeumo, Cunha, and Ahmad get in there. If you want to throw Bruno Fernandes in there, Martin Odegaard is a better footballer than Bruno, but Bruno gets better numbers if you want to look at that. Kobe Mainu, again, Kobe Mainu gets in there for me because who have you got in there? You've got Mikel Merino. Kobe's better than Mikel Merino. Norgard, he's better than Norgard. You know, if you wanna say Declan Rice, then as he's gonna be in the team, fair enough. But Kobe gets in there. Casemiro's better than Zubimendi, so he gets in there. You know, the defense, again, you've got Saliba and Gabriel who have been good, but let's face it, Matthias de Ligt gets in there as part of the squad. Urian Timber is just behind Reece James for me as the best right back in the league. But if you're saying to back up Timber or to compete with him, I'm taking Mazraoui. And then left back, your left backs are shit. So, you know, Dorgu's a left back anyway, and I'll take Dorgu ahead of Lewis Skelly and Calafiori. And Calafiori's actually been decent, but I think Dorgu could be part of the squad to either compete with him. And then Lamens, I'd have Lamens ahead of Kepa. And at the moment, you probably say David Raya, but there's not much in it. So yeah, man. Like you're saying I'm deluded, but you can't tell me why I'm deluded. You know what I mean? Like, and the only one who gets a sniff is Bruno. That isn't true. That isn't true. Like again, you're saying that these players are you think these Arsenal players are that good because again, you're gonna say because they're top of the league, top of the Champions League, but then when they don't win it or when they start struggling, what are we gonna say now? You know what I mean? And again, part of the squad. So yeah. No, I ain't trolling, man. I don't need to troll. I'll give you my reasons why. You know? Today's game felt like actually United playing. This is the style I'm used to seeing. Yeah, big up to Sub CV. Again, result aside, there was positives for sure, man. There was definitely positives. And yeah, there's definitely positives. But the main things I'm looking at, yeah, is the players that we got coming back, Ahmad and Mbuemo, you know, and the team selection is going to be interesting because the team selection for me, he needs to make sure that he picks the right balance for me because Cunha playing with Bruno is not going to work because if you're going to play Cunha in the left and Bruno in the 10, those two are both ball dominant players. So it's you got to pick either one of them. Yeah. Are you going to play Mbuemo or is Ahmad going to play out there or is Ahmad going to play in the 10? So again, there's things for Amarim. There's things for whoever takes charge of United to think about because there's going to be some players left out and they're not going to be happy being on the bench. That's for sure. But eventually, Man United are going to need to fizzle out the likes of Bruno and even because Mason Mount doesn't do enough. So they're going to need to try and figure that one out. Trossard is the dustiest winger in history. The thing is, I don't think he's the dustiest winger in history, but he's definitely dropped off, Trossard, since he's come to Arsenal. He does score important goals, but... What a finish. He does score important goals, but for me, he has definitely dropped off coming from Brighton to Arsenal. You know what I mean? Clock enders, you're not listening, man. You're not listening. Like, you're not listening. You told me part of the squad. Yeah, you told me part of the squad, and now you're saying man said Ahmad better than Saka. Man said Mbuemo better than Saka. That's correct, man. That's correct. You've said it twice. If you think Saka's a better footballer than Ahmad, then you got problems, man. I'm telling you. Like, Saka's not a better footballer than Ahmad. Like, everyone knows that. So, yeah, if you think he's better, then you can live with that one, man. That's up to you. Lacey cameo was good. He reminds me. That's what I said earlier, Sub CV. Lacey's got a bit of Phil Foden in him. I'm telling you. Get him part of that first team squad. He's got Foden in him. I said that at the start, man. So yeah, listen, Lacey's definitely got something, man. And again, do I expect Lacey to get much football when you've got Ahmad and Mbuemo on that side to pick from? I don't, but make him part of the first team squad because he's got ability, that guy. I'm telling you, he's got something. And yeah, he's definitely got Foden in him, 100%. Guys, make sure we're smashing the likes. We only got 7 likes. Smash the like button and make sure you sub to the channel. Nobody is taking Ahmad over Saka. But again, who are you speaking for? Like, are you speaking for everyone or speaking for yourself? Because how can you say no one's taking Ahmad over Saka? Like, what credentials have you got to be saying that? You know what I mean? Like, you can like Saka, but I'm telling you this now. Ahmad's a better footballer than Saka. He is. Like, I don't really care what you say. Like, you can have your opinion, but Saka's not better than Ahmad as a footballer. He's not. He definitely isn't. Bro, there ain't no hate for Arsenal, man. I don't need to hate Arsenal. Like, Arsenal are Man United's rivals, but you're just overdoing it with the Arsenal prop, man. Like, yes, you guys are top. Yes, you guys are 5 points clear at the top. You know, focus on that. But to tell me that Saka's this and that, his market value is 130 to 150. Yeah, I mean, I don't really care about that, man. Like, what does that even mean? What does that even mean? Because his market value is 130 to 150. What does that mean? What does that mean? That means nothing, man. That means nothing. Like the facts are, Amad Diarra is a better footballer. It's just that simple, you know. So yeah, let's move on. How did I come to that conclusion? So he's a more technical player than him. You know, he's better in tight spaces. The only thing I would say Saka probably has over Amad is that Saka, I think Saka's probably he's more physically rounded than Amad. That's the only thing I would say. He's more physically capable in this league than Amad. And that isn't to say that Amad's not strong, but Saka's obviously probably more physical than Amad. But in terms of from aesthetics as a footballer, you know, he ain't better than Amad. Like, the good things about Saka, yeah, Saka's very good at protecting the ball. He's very good at keeping the ball. But he's not a great dribbler. He's not. He doesn't score an obscene amount of goals. He's just playing in an Arsenal system that utilizes the way that he plays. It's that simple. So, yeah. But again, clock enders from what you're coming out with, yeah, there's no kind of like common sense in what you're saying. Like, you're just throwing out so many different things, but I don't think you even understand what you're saying. Because it's kind of childish what you're coming out with on there. You know what I mean? So why is Bukayo over double? Like, what does that mean? Does he play international football? Yeah, let's move on anyway. But guys, so yeah, let me know what you thought of tonight's game. And let me know what you think of the appointments of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and Carrick. Are you guys happy with that? With those appointments? Because are you guys happy with those appointments of Solskjaer and Carrick? Let me know what you think, guys, and make sure you're smashing the like button. Make sure you're subbing to the channel. Big up to Lewis, says, annoying tonight's game, bro. Yeah, it was, man. It was. But, yeah, I mean, I was hoping for a 3-1 to United. But, again, it's... yeah, I was hoping for a 3-1 to United. But, again, it's one of them things, man. It's one of them things where I'm more looking at the performance, because this is the first game under Darren Fletcher. He isn't going to be the long-term appointment. So once we get you know, players back from AFCON, players back from injury, and we get a proper team that plays consistently, you know, in a 4-2-3-1 or a 4-3-3, I think we'll get better, man. So I'm not that fussed. The fact that we've got rid of this Amorim is even better. So as I said, bring Ollie or bring Solskjaer in. Well, I don't want Solskjaer, but bring Carrick in, should I say? But it looks like him and Solskjaer will be coming together. And if they can get us in a system, defensively set up properly, and then you let the attacking players do their work, then yeah, I'll be happy with that. Clock enders, if your brain was made of cotton, there wouldn't be enough. Yeah, listen, let him have his say at the end of the day, because you know he's an Arsenal fan. They're going to be doing the most because they're in a comfortable position. So if he thinks Saka's better than Amad, then that's up to him. Like, let Saka prove it this season, because as I said, for as the much hype that Saka gets, he's not won anything. So let's see what he does this season. You know, they're 5 points clear at the top. Liverpool tomorrow, they have a chance to go 8 points clear. So let's see what they do. Let's see what they do. Hope you're well, Gav. How did you think the game went in your opinion? Yeah, big up, man. Big up. As I said earlier, I think in terms of the result isn't great, 2-2 against Burnley. But the positives that I can see, yeah, is the negatives that I didn't like from the game first and foremost, and there weren't really too many apart from the result. But him playing Cunha as a right winger was poor, and to play Dorgu as a left winger, because Cunha's not a touchline winger to go around the outside, and you can see that Darren Fletcher was trying to go back to the whole Ferguson days of playing out and out wingers to go down the outside and put crosses in. So the fact that he played Cunha as a right winger, and then Bruno's back in the team playing as the 10, there's no surprise why Cunha was poor tonight. Second half he changed it. He played Bruno on the right and put Cunha in the 10, but still played Dorgu as the out and out winger in a sense. So again, at least he kind of identified that Cunha wasn't really getting into the game. But the positives that I can see is Shay Lacey, and again, big up to Catty Bothman 5531 says Shay Lacey is very talented. I still can't believe how Amrim left him out for Man Utd the other day. And again, Shay Lacey for me needs to be part of this first team squad. I've seen a couple of things from Shay Lacey, not just this game, but the previous game, to know that he's got something. And as I said, for me, he could be City's answer. He could be United's answer to Phil Foden. He's got traits of Phil Foden in him. Whether he gets to become as good as Foden, I don't know, but he's definitely got something. So he needs to be in this first team squad for real, But the fact he came on and had a good cameo, Cobby coming on, Xerxes coming on, even though I think Xerxes should have started. Sesko, getting a couple of goals for his confidence. Patrick Dorgu had a good game as well. Gave Carl Walker problems all game. Ugarte was decent, to be fair, even though I don't rate him. And the fact he took Bruno off, as I said, man, there was positives for sure. Yeah, exactly what I said, man. That's exactly what I said. The next manager, the next manager of Manchester United is gonna have a tough time picking the lineup, because if you're playing the 4-2-3-1, you would have to believe that new signings Cunha and Mbeumo are gonna play. But does that mean what? Ahmad's on the bench, Xerxes on the bench, but all of a sudden the bench becomes strong. So you've got players that can make an impact. As I said, I would start Ahmad in the 10, Xerxes as the 9, Mbeumo on the right, and Cunha on the left. You got two wide forwards in Cunha and Mbeumo, the facilitator in Xerxes, and then you got Ahmad who has the tenacity in a number 10 to help out in midfield. But again, he's got the quality to link the play from deep as well, from the number 10, and go beyond Xerxes as well. So that's what I want to see. And again, on the bench, if you got like a Sesko, you got Bruno, Mount on the bench. Listen, all of a sudden the bench becomes a lot stronger. Oh, yeah, Clock Enders is on one today, guys. He's on one, man. Let him chat, man, because when Arsenal don't win the league, he's going to be crying, man. So let's see if he's got the same energy come the end of the season. Let's see. Let's see if he's got the same energy, because, you would have thought like there's like 5 games left at the end of the season. City dropping points again. Again, they've dropped. Again, their last 3 games, City have drawn, which is poor. You wouldn't have expected that from Man City. And again, Arsenal have a chance tomorrow to make a statement. But guys, what I will tell you, yeah, if Arsenal don't beat Liverpool tomorrow, it's still only 6 points even if they draw. So and again, City have still got to play Arsenal, and You know, City will be looking at that as a 3-pointer. And Arsenal have got to play United. I'm telling you this now, yeah? Do not be surprised if Man United pick up points against Arsenal. Do not be surprised. I'm telling you. Do not be surprised. Clock Enders, where do you rate Saka in world football in terms of players? Where do you rate him? If you've got top 10, do you think Saka's one of the top 10 players in the world? And if you do, tell me who he's better than. Big up to Mike. Big up for coming through. Big up. Guys, make sure we're smashing the like buttons, guys, when we're coming through. Help the channel to reach more people. I should be live tomorrow as well, guys. I might have someone coming back on the channel as well tomorrow. So should be live tomorrow after the Arsenal-Liverpool game, which we will be watching. He's gone all quiet. We put him on the spot. He's gone quiet. Clock Enders has Saka tattooed on his ass. He's probably got Saka on the right cheek and he's probably got Arteta on the left cheek. And then Odegaard in his mouth. You know what I mean? It wouldn't surprise me, man. He's better than every United player. Again, you know what it is, yeah? You know what it is? I can tell that Clock Enders must be, he must be 15 because the comments he's coming out with, yeah, are just childish. You know what I mean? They're childish. Clock Enders, this is a channel for proper football talk, man. Like, let's have proper football in chat. Where do you rate Saka in terms of world players? Where do you rate Saka in terms of world players? Come on, you're on the spot now, man. Let's see. The floor is yours, man. Where is Saka in terms of list of world players? Because he's early top 10. Oh, my God. Football's really in the bin, man. Football is... You think Saka's top 10? Let me tell you why he's not top 10, yeah? And I'll tell you quickly now. Because if you're rating the top 10 players, yeah? Just not in his position, yeah? Any players. So let's go to Barcelona. Lamine Yamal's better than Saka. That's 1. Pedri is in the top 10. That's 2. Even if we're going to put Rafinha in there, even though I don't think Rafinha should be in there, but you could even argue he's in there. Let's go to Real Madrid. Mbappe is in there. You probably say in the top 10. I mean, I'd love to put Camavinga in there, but he's been injured, so you can't put him in there. Vinicius Jr., maybe just outside it at the moment. But let's go PSG. Vitinha, Ousmane Dembele, Kvaratskhelia, Nuno Mendes, Hakimi. And again, it's not the same positions. It's just players that are in the top 10. So I think I've already got to 10 already with them players. Let's go to Germany. Michael Olise is better than Saka. Harry Kane's in there. Who else is there? Let's go to the Premier League. Erling Haaland probably be in the top 10. Cherki's better than Saka. Who else is there? Chelsea. I'll take Cole Palmer ahead of Saka easily. You know, Moises Caicedo. So again, when you're saying that he's in the top 10, I've just named you about 20 players that are better than him. So, and again, I've not even put no Man United players in there. So it's not even, I'm not even being biased. You know what I mean? But you're just doing too much for Saka, man. I don't know what's going on with you and Saka, man. Like, yeah, it's odd, man. It's odd. Never thought I'd see another grown... Well, I don't even know if you're a grown man. I can't even say that. But, yeah, it's crazy, man. Any Liverpool fans in the chat? My predictions, Liverpool 2-1 against Arsenal. Yeah, I wouldn't I wouldn't go against that. I think, I mean, Liverpool haven't been great, you know what I mean? But I wouldn't be surprised if Liverpool pick up a point against Arsenal. I wouldn't be surprised, you know. They've got no Ekatike. I think he's out injured. So I think Gakpo will be playing through the middle, you know, or Chiesa might play, who knows. But yeah, I think Arsenal are favourites going into that game, no doubt. And it wouldn't surprise me if Arsenal do beat Liverpool. But I think Liverpool might have something for Arsenal, you know. I think they pick up a point at least. So Elise just got muddied 2 months back. Yeah, this clock enders, man. You're making me laugh, you know. Yeah, you've definitely got issues, man. But it is what it is. Guys, who do you think should be the permanent manager for Man United? Who should be the permanent manager for Manchester United? For me personally, again, I done my poll, the post yesterday. For me, who do I want? I would like the Zerbi, personally. I would like the Zerbi because I look at the Zerbi's football and I want to see good football. But for me, Zidane's always been my number one choice. But if we're being realistic, I'll take the Zerbi or Xavi for me. I don't mind Glasner, but the Zerbi or Xavi for me, I would take. Yeah, the Zerbi or Xavi. Clockenders, you know Harvey Barnes has got more goals than Saka this season. Are you aware of that, yeah? Yamal's the only one better. Not true. Yamal, Elise, Ahmad's a better footballer than Saka. It depends what you're meaning. What do you rate about Saka? That's what I want to know. What do you rate about Saka that he's better than all the other wingers out there? Because if it's goals, you'll find very quickly that he doesn't even score many goals. So what do you rate about him? Even 4-4-2, put Saka second. Oh, good. You know what I mean? Let's ignore clock enders. He's on one. Let's ignore him. Permanent manager for Man U will be Serena Weigman. Yeah, imagine that. Imagine that, man. That'll be the day, man. We'll see women managers managing the men's game. But again, at least she's won a European trophy. You can't say the same thing for Arteta. You know what I mean? At least Serena Weigman's won a European trophy, man. You know what I mean? Maybe Arsenal need to go and hire Serena Weigman. So Clockender says you're gonna argue with professionals. You see the problem is now, yeah. This is I'll tell you one thing I've noticed about YouTube, yeah. YouTube has attracted a lot of idiots, like a lot of idiots that either are coming from a different profession to come into football. Because when I'm seeing things like what Clockenders is saying, yeah, you're gonna argue with professionals. So what you trying to say? You're trying to say because let's say for argument's sake, yeah, Lee Dixon says Saka's in the top 10. So are you basing your opinion because Lee Dixon used to be a professional? Are you basing that on that he knows more about football than someone like myself? Is that what you're trying to say? Because if that's the case, yeah, then the way that you see it is dumb. Because just because these guys are ex-professionals, that doesn't mean, yeah, that they know what's going on. Not to mention a lot of these guys are scripted, by the way, anyway, yeah? And because, let's say for argument's sake, Lee Dixon or whoever thinks Saka's a top 10, Why do I need to care about that? That's the actual truth. Because, again, I have a background in football, but I don't need to be listening to Lee Dixon or whoever to try and tell me Saka's in the top 10. Like, he can say that all he wants. Saka's not in the top 10 for me. It's that simple. I couldn't give a damn what these ex-pros say. Like, a lot of them don't know what they're going on about. I'll give you an example. My team, Roy Keane. Roy Keane was a great player and a great captain. But Roy Keane doesn't know more about football than, you know, a lot of YouTubers, let's say. He doesn't. Roy Keane just knows about the era that he was in. And he knows about passion. But he don't know about the actual game like that. You know? I can tell you now he doesn't. So to say that they're ex-professionals, you're gonna argue with ex-professional, that's a very dumb way of looking at it. You know what I mean? Again, Paul Merson. Yeah? Paul Merson's another one. You know? To say that Paul Merson knows more about football than myself, I find that an insult. Because Paul Merson comes out with nonsense half the time. And this is the problem. Like, these ex-pros, because they're in the studio or they're on TV, don't think that they know that these guys know what's going on. Because they don't. You know? There's something he said today, yeah? What did he say today? It was a dumb comment. What did he say today? He said something that made no sense. I actually forgot. But he'll probably do it again anyway, because he's like that. But, yeah, there's loads. Big up to Ian. Wayne Rooney's another one. There's loads of them. There's loads of them. These guys are very good footballers, but they got nothing between the brain, man. I'm telling you. There's a reason why these guys are in the studio talking and not managing, because they're not good managers. It's that simple. It's that simple. So to come on there and say that to argue professional is dumb. It's dumb. As I said, you know, I've never been of that opinion. Listen, no one says your opinion doesn't hold any value. Like, your opinion's your opinion. But when I'm asking you what Saka has over them players, you haven't told me yet. You're just saying that that he's in the top 10. But it's not based on anything. Gary Neville. Look, to be fair to Gary Neville does know about football. He does. But again, Gary Neville's very much what's ever fashionable, you know, and I'm the total opposite. You know, for me, the way that I see things, if the majority are saying the same thing, I'm usually on the other side, because I know football and I won't allow no one to tell me really something that I truly don't agree with. You know, that's the truth. And yeah, but Gary Neville does know about football, but he doesn't know everything, put it that way, you know? Bro, you're not even triggering me, man. I just enjoy having a conversation, man. But I'm still asking you what you think about why is Saka in the top 10, and you haven't told us yet. So Man United makes me feel depressed. You know what? I was there, but now Amarim's gone. You know, my spirit is back up, because, you know, I look at our squad, yeah. We got 13 players for sure that get into Arsenal squad, no doubt, yeah. And what I would say is that, you know, the next appointment as manager is going to be key. And that's what I'm looking forward to. The Darren Fletcher, he's just there for a couple of games, you know. And if they're going to bring in Ollie or Ollie and Carrick or wherever, good. That's to the end of the season. But the next appointment, I expect to see Xavi, De Zerbi, Glasner, you know, one of them managers for me. But that's what I'm saying. Like, when he's just saying he's saying Saka's top 10, but I don't think he knows why Saka's in the top 10. You know? I don't think even he knows why Saka's in the top 10, but listen, he can have his opinion, man. Fletcher's in one team tonight. Can we have Norman Stanley Fletcher after the FA Cup game, win or lose? Boy, I don't even know who Norman Stanley Fletcher is. Who the hell's that? Who the hell's that? The only Norman that I remember at Man United was Norman Whiteside. You know what I mean? And that was before my time. Saka will go through his whole career and will never get 30 goals in a season. Gary Neville is Starmer's mate. His opinion doesn't count. Yeah, big up, man. Put it this way, yeah? And again, Fitz will know this, yeah? Steve Bruce got 19 league goals, which I still can't believe to this day, yeah, at Manchester United. Steve Bruce, yeah? He got 19 league goals. Has Saka ever reached 19 league goals? I'll be very surprised. I'll be very surprised if he has, put it that way. So I've explained it multiple times. So have current players, current managers, ex-players, pundits, are they all wrong? The majority of them are, yeah. That's what I'm trying to tell you, yeah. They are. They are, a lot of them. Like, the thing is, you're too invested in what these pundits are saying that trigger your mind, because I can tell. Because if you're coming out with Saka's top 10, you're only getting that from the pundits. I don't actually think that's your actual opinion. So what I would say to you, man, is have your own mind, because you can't be a follower out here, man. It's not good. Salah gets 19 in an off season. Haaland would get 19 in any season. Yeah, and I don't think Saka's even hit. Has Saka even hit 10? I'm not too sure. He's young, English, can run past anybody, can assist, can score. What are you chatting, man? Nah, Saka's shit, man. Like, get out of it. Saka's rubbish, man. Like, put it this way, yeah? Put it this way. Jared Bowen is better than Saka. Jared Bowen's better than Saka. Do you really think Saka could do what Bowen's doing at West Ham? He can't. The only reason Saka gets in the England team ahead of Bowen is because Bowen's at West Ham. If Bowen was playing for a Liverpool, let's say, Bowen would probably be ahead of Saka. I'm telling you that now. I'm telling you that now. You know what I mean? Now listen, we don't rate. I don't rate Saka, man. Like, Saka's a good player. That's it. But the way you're talking, you're talking about Saka like he's Lamine Yamal. You know what I mean? Like he's Michael Olise. You know, like he's Arjen Robben. He's just a basic winger, man. He's like Steve Guppy. Remember Steve Guppy back in the day from Leicester City? He's just a black version of Steve Guppy. I'm telling you, bro. That's all he is. Go and check Steve Guppy. That's Bukayo Saka. That's Bukayo Saka. I'm telling you. The black Damien Duff, you can say, man. Well, hey, listen, Steve Guppy had a cross on him. Yeah, as I'm trying to tell you. Saka's the black Steve Guppy. I'm telling you. That's not even a wild comment, man. He's the black Steve Guppy. That is it. Owen would wipe the floor with Saka. No, but Owen's a striker, dude. Saka plays out wide. Steve Bruce has got more goals in the league season than Bukayo Saka. And we're meant to believe that Bukayo Saka's in the top 10, yeah? Boy, he might be in the top 10 for Arsenal's team. You know what I mean? But world football? Nah, let's forget that, man. Yeah, clock enders, you've had an absolute nightmare there, man. Yeah, listen, you think Saka's better than Bowen because Saka's at Arsenal. And because Arsenal are battling for the top of the table, you automatically think Saka's better than Bowen. Saka's not better than Bowen. I'm telling you now. I think Bowen's got more goals than Saka this season. Fitz, if you're at Fitz, check how many goals Bowen's got this season, and then check Saka's. Do you think Saka is greedy, Gav? You know what I would say, yeah? Saka's being greedy this season, and there's one reason for that. Because he knows that his position is under threat from Noni Madueke. And Madueke's shit. So that's the thing. He's under threat from Madueke. So he's having to be greedy. Bro, clip it, man. Clip it and sleep with it. Do whatever you want to do with it, man. Jared Bowen's better than Saka. Don't look at Saka because Jared Bowen because he's at West Ham. Don't look at that. Because if Saka was at West Ham, they probably would have been relegated already. Okay. So Saka will get 1 great goal in 7 games and will live with that for the next 10. But this is the thing. This is the thing, man. Right, there we go. Bowen 6, Saka 4. There we go. There we go. So Saka's top 10 in the world. And again, I'm not someone, that cares about numbers, But Saka's only getting into conversations because of this apparent numbers. He's got four goals. Yeah, get out of there. Top 10. Top 10, Saka top 10. Oh, my God, man. This is comedy, This is comedy. It's comedy that Saka's got 4 goals and Bowen's got 6. And you're telling me that Saka's better than Bowen. He's not, man. He's not. In 18 games this season, Saka has got 4 goals and 4 assists. 4... Wait. Nah, that must be a joke. Saka's got 4 goals and 4 assists in 18 games. Nah, that can't be true. That cannot be true. He's got 4 goals and 4 assists. And this is a guy that we're meant to believe is in the top 10. Oh, my God. It's embarrassing, man. Oh, sorry. I got another guy. Guys, I forgot. Another player that's outperforming Saka. Harry Wilson. Harry Wilson. Harry Wilson got 2 as well today. Harry Wilson's on smoke. Fitz, check. Someone in the chat, check for me how many goals Harry Wilson's got. Please check. Because if they're going on current form, Saka's not better than Harry Wilson. But hey, Harry Wilson's a very good player. Ex-Liverpool player as well. Oh, he got disallowed. Okay. But he's still got another one anyway. Check how many goals Harry Wilson's got. I think Harry Wilson might have 9. Clock Enders, you keep doing this value nonsense, yeah? What's Harry Kane's value? Because as you get older, your value decreases. So, what are you going to try and say? What? Because Saka has a better value than Harry Kane, he's better than Harry Kane as well, yeah? 7 and 4. My God. Wilson's got 7. I think Wilson's got 8, because he scored today again. He might have 8. Yeah, Saka's dead, man. He's rubbish. He's rubbish. He's rubbish, man. He's rubbish. If he starts in the World Cup for England, England are done. They're done out here, man. I'm telling you it now. They're done out here. Cole Palmer, just put him on that right-hand side. Get Bowen to back him up if you want. And then we'll keep it moving. But I don't want to see Saka nowhere near that England lineup. Him and Bellingham, get rid of both of them. I don't want to see Bellingham in the squad for the England game. And Saka, yeah, you can bring him if you want, but he's a bench option. That's it. Saka is not worth that much. Arsenal might claim he is, but no one is paying that dollar for him. Bro, listen, the only people that rate Saka are Arsenal fans and clock enders. That's it. That's it. Is Mbeumo better than Saka? But it depends what we're saying better than. Does he score more goals than Saka? Yeah, he is. Is Saka a better footballer than Mbeumo? Maybe. But it's not really a it's not really that much in it, really. Whoa, Bellingham is so good, bro. Why won't you pick him? Nah, Bellingham's not good. Bellingham's shit, man. Like, this whole Bellingham is good needs to stop, man. He's just got good PR. Like, he's crap. Like, I've seen too many players for anyone to tell me that Bellingham's good. Tell me what he's good at. And I guarantee you, it's not on the ball. You know what I mean? Because he can't dribble. He hasn't got a great touch. He's not technical, really, like that. Yeah, listen, if England got brains, if Thomas Tuchel's got brains, you just play Morgan Rogers or Eze in the 10 and leave Bellingham at home. It's that simple. Now Cobby's back. I hope Cobby can force his way into the squad. I've got a better question, yeah? Guys, if Cobby Manu gets regular game time, yeah, from now to the end of the season, who would you take, bias aside, as better for the squad? Kobe Manu or Jude Bellingham? Who would you take? Yeah, Elliot Anderson's a very good player, and Elliot Anderson will start as well. But who would you take, Kobe or would you take Bellingham for the squad? Hell yeah, Manu. Hell yeah. What's Bellingham going to bring? But a sharp hairline. You know what I mean? What's he going to bring but a sharp hairline? I'm telling you, man. Ian Wu says he'll take Bellingham. Cool, fair enough. I mean, the reason I wouldn't take Bellingham is because where Bellingham's going to play for England, yeah, which is a disgrace to football, is in the number 10. You know, it's a disgrace to football that he's got number 10 on his back. It's ridiculous, yeah. But Morgan Rogers, Eze, Gibbs White, I would say as well, Jack Grealish. These guys are all better number 10s than Jude Bellingham. So I don't understand. I don't know what he'll bring to the England team, but a sharp hairline and PR. That's it. Yeah, there we go, man. Would you put Adam Wharton in the England 11? I would personally. I would. I'd have Adam Wharton and I'd love to see an Adam Wharton and Kobe Manu midfield too. You know, or Adam Wharton and Elliot Anderson. You know, you know, Declan Rice is going to play, you know, and he's going to play because, again, another guy that's playing for Arsenal, so he'll get in there. But, yeah, listen, the future for that England midfield for me, I'm not looking past Kobe, Adam Wharton and Elliot Anderson. It's that simple. Yeah, big up to David, man. Big up. Big up. Grealish got sent off tonight. No way. He's a top player, Grealish, man. Top player. Jude ain't at number 10, though. He's an old school box-to-box CM. That's how he should be used. Big up to Joker for life. Exactly. The fact that people think Jude Bellingham's a 10 is a disgrace to football. The fact that England had the cheek to give him number 10 on his back as well, again, is a disgrace to number 10s. When you've seen the likes of Zidane, Ronaldinho, Leo Messi, Neymar, Hazard, Pogba, who else is there? Yamal, Ryan Cherky. When you see and Rui Costa, not Pablo Aimar, Juan Roman Riquelme, Totti, Del Piero, Baggio, when you've seen players like that wear number 10 and it's gone to the likes of Jude Bellingham, we're in trouble. Football's in the toilet, man. I'm telling you, with things like that. Bobby Firmino, another one. Yeah, man. Football's in the bin, man. It's in the bin. And I just hope Tuchel sees sense, man, before this tournament. Who would you put instead of Bellingham? I just told you, man. Morgan Rogers, Morgan Gibbs White, Eze, Cole Palmer, Jack Grealish. They're 5 names already, without even thinking, that'll be better number 10s than Jude Bellingham. Again, Jude Bellingham has no place in the England team because you can't. If you're playing a 4-2-3-1, he isn't disciplined enough to play as 1-2 in midfield. Yeah, and you can't play him in the 10 because there's better 10s than him. So the answer is you just don't pick him. It's that simple. Boy, Clock Enders, you can laugh all you want, man. You can laugh all you want. I'm glad you're entertained, man. I'm glad you're entertained. But this is real footballing talk, man. You know? This is real footballing talk. You know what I mean? You've said some mad things today, man. But we forgive you on there, man. Just don't do it again, you know? But, yeah, listen. This whole Bellingham thing is nonsense, man. It's nonsense. Yeah, big up David. David, listen, man. We're used to these Arsenal fans. I got a few Arsenal friends, man, that love Arsenal, and them guys all chat shit. you know. And as I said, you know, they're in a good place right now, man. They're 5 points clear at the top. They're top of the Champions League. But one thing's for certain, the cream always rises to the top. And that's a team there under that Mikel Arteta, who's won nothing for 7 years. It's going to continue, man. I'm telling you that now. You know, it's going to continue. You know, I've heard that they're going to win it all. That's what I've been hearing. They're going to win it all. Let's see, man. Because if they beat Liverpool tomorrow, even I would say, do you know what? Maybe they've clocked something. You know? But don't be surprised if Liverpool pick up a draw. Don't be surprised if they beat them. I'm telling you, man. Bainham and Rice could work if Jude plays like he did in his Dortmund days, then have Palmer, Eze, Foden or Morgan in the 10 role. Big up to Joker. The reason why for me it won't work, Bainham and Rice together, yeah, is because Declan Rice's strengths, yeah, are Jude Bellingham strengths in terms of crashing the box and the energy. So for me, you've either got to pick one of them, and I'd pick Declan Rice. So again, there's no bias to Arsenal here. I'd pick Declan Rice over Jude Bellingham. The way for England to thrive in this World Cup is that they need a controller, and the three controllers they have are Adam Wharton, Elliot Anderson, and Kobbie Mainoo. Now, as we know, three of them, two out of the three are not going to start. But to play Bellingham and Rice together, England are going to get found out by the best teams because Jude Bellingham can't control the game and he's ill-disciplined in that position. And Declan Rice wants to get forward. So that combination with a number 10 is not going to work against the best teams. Yeah, it might work against a Liechtenstein or a Luxembourg or a Moldova, no disrespect, yeah. But it's not going to work against the best teams. They'll get found out big time. So you need to have a controller in there and then have a box-to-box. And again, if you're picking Rice or Bellingham, for me, it's got to be Declan Rice. It's that simple, man. Yeah, it's that simple, man. But yeah, Palmer for me is better on the right-hand side. So that's if Tuchel's got sense and plays Palmer, that means Saka's on the bench. And then he's got to battle it out with Bowen. Maybe even Madueke for a start. But yeah, Palmer the England's team for me, yeah, as I keep saying, yeah. England's best team for me would be Pickford in goal, Reece James right back, Nico O'Reilly left back. The centre backs for me would be Mark Guehi and Ezri Konsa. The midfield two, I would love to have Kobbie in there. But again, Kobbie's one depends on if he can get game time. Yeah. So I'd have Elliot Anderson and Rice, or Wharton Anderson, or Kobbie Wharton, Kobbie Anderson, Kobbie Rice, whatever. Any one of them four for me. They should be in contention. Yeah. Then in the 10, I'd play Morgan Rogers because in international football, his physicality will be key in the centre of the pitch. And on the left-hand side, me personally, I'd have Grealish or a Sancho or an Eze as the options. On the right-hand side, I'd have Cole Palmer. And then obviously Harry Kane and whoever's going to back him up from there. I'd like to see Ivan Toney, but it won't be Toney. But that's the way I would go. But Tuchel's going to want pace on the flanks. And the only way Saka will play is because he wants pace in the way he plays out wide, which is why Rashford and Gordon are in contention. But for me personally, I wouldn't have Rashford or Gordon. I'd have Grealish, Eze, or Sancho, because the better ball players you have, the better for the team. And again, if you want to change the flow of the game, that's when you bring on the pace. You know what I mean? The Arsenal fans in Nottingham are the same too. Last 20 years, I've heard they're going to win treble, quad. Bro, them guys are deluded, man. Don't listen to them. They're just hurt, man, because Tottenham's won a trophy before them. Tottenham's got European pedigree. That's what's hurting Arsenal fans. It's that simple, man. They've got European pedigree, man. So they're going to be doing the most, man. But the reality is, yeah, the reality is they've got a manager that's been in the position for 7 years. You know, are we really surprised that they're near the top? We shouldn't be. He's got the one stable team. But even he won't win the title this season. So you know what I mean? So it is what it is. Hi, Gav. I agree. As a United fan, I think Liverpool will get something against Arsenal. Unlucky for us to draw against Burnley, Gav. Yeah, listen. There was positives for sure. The result wasn't positive, but as I said, we have to just wait and see what's happening with Carrick and what's happening with Solskjaer. And again, I want Carrick at the club, but then come end of the season, they have to go and get a serious appointment, and this next appointment has to be the one. Has to be, And then we get the appointment right with the squad that we have, and reinforcements still. You'll find that very quickly. We're not that far away from Arsenal. That's how funny it is. Like, people might be thinking we're far away now because of the league position, but that was down to Ruben Amorim. Because I tell you this now, if we had a proper manager at the start of the season in a 4-2-3-1, I guarantee you, we wouldn't be that far off Arsenal. Guarantee you. Guarantee you. Arsenal just been the most consistent team so far, Yeah, Anderson will go, man. I reckon he's got Man City or Liverpool. I think if I'm Anderson, I'll go Liverpool. Burnham can keep the ball, and I have seen him go past players too, honestly. So what, is that the best you've got then? He can keep the ball and go past players. Like anyone, there's many players that can go past players. There's many players that can keep the ball. Like, Burnham's strengths are not keeping the ball and going past players. His strengths are box crashing. But box crashing, if you want to bring that as part of the squad, cool. He's an impact sub then. Simple. He can't be starting games for England. No way. Over the past few days, we have drawn against two teams destined to go down. So what hope have we got against City and Arsenal? Yeah, listen, I hear that. But again, you have to look at the fact that there could be a good feel factor around the club now, And one thing I'll tell you, this league this season has been poor, which is why Arsenal find themselves at the top. Arsenal haven't been great as to why they're top. It's just the league's been poor. But what I would say is, for me, don't be surprised if Man United pick up a point against one of them two teams. And I think it'll be Arsenal. I'm telling you, don't be surprised. Do not be surprised. Bro, did you just say Sancho in the England team? Saka performs for England every time, bro. Yeah, listen. I'm saying if it was me, I would have Jadon Sancho as part of the squad. I would, because Jadon Sancho is a very, very good footballer. And if the more footballers you got in your team, you're going to be better. It's that simple. Like, if you're going to base it off the fact that Sancho hasn't been playing and other things, that isn't the argument. The argument is, for me, I would have the best footballers in the squad. Because if you got a squad of the best footballers, 9 times out of 10, you're going to win the game. You know what I mean? And Saka performs every time for England. I mean, I doubt that, because does he perform in every big game England's played? He hasn't. He's had some good performances, but he doesn't perform every time. Not for me. But again, Saka's going to go to the World Cup. But if we're being serious, Cole Palmer should be starting on that right-hand side because he's better than Saka. So, yeah, it's just that simple, man. Great start for Rosenior, losing his first game. That's the taste of what's to come. Yeah, the fact that they've hired Rosenior in the first place is poor from Chelsea. But again, Chelsea want to micromanage their managers, unfortunately. So this is what happens. But yeah, what can we do, man? What can we do? We have to wait and see what they do in a minute. Cole Palmer has not been very consistent recently. Why are you picking him? Because he's a better player. He's a better player. And international football is about individuals. And when it comes to individuals and Mavericks, England have Cole Palmer. They have Jack Grealish, Jadon Sancho, Morgan Rogers, you can say. Eze. These guys are individuals. They're Mavericks. Saka's not an individual. He's a system player. So when it comes to international football, You know, the players that thrive in international football are individuals. And the more individual talents you have, you know, any one of these players can just turn the game on its head. Saka's part of a system, which is why he does decent for Arsenal, because it's very systematic with what Arsenal do. So that's why I'm picking Cole Palmer, because he's an individual. Even if you look at Madueke, yeah, there's no surprise why Madueke looks better than Saka, because Madueke is direct and he's more of an individual than Saka. Saka just suits the system because it's a system game now. But Madueke has been more threatening than Saka. He has. You know what I mean? Greetings from Germany. What is your top 11 of all time? Give me a bit more than that, man. What does that mean? Top 11 of all time. Is that top 11 players you're saying? Gav, I got a gut feeling we will get something against Arsenal or City, Gav. Yeah, listen. Don't be surprised, man. I'm not saying we're going to beat them, yeah? But, again, man, don't be surprised we pick up a point and derail Arsenal. Don't be surprised, man. I'll be doing a watch-along for that as well, guys. So, if any of you want to jump on the stream for the live watch-along for the Man United Arsenal game, I'll be doing that, man. Don't worry about that. We got that planned. Gav, just a matter of time, interest. Can't they not get an Italian manager for Man United? De Zerbi. De Zerbi for me is the one I want. He's a top manager, managing Marseille at the moment. So Jason Wilcox has been chasing De Zerbi for years. So he could be the one. You know, so I'll definitely say De Zerbi. Kane does not perform in big games with Bayern. He's unstoppable. But I don't know how he's going to do it in the England team. The thing is, Harry Kane, with the way he plays, yeah, Harry Kane's actually a number 10. So if you look at Harry Kane when he came through at Tottenham as a youngster, he was number 10. Obviously, he's a fully fledged number 9 now. Yeah, that can play as a 10, but he drops into the spaces to link the play and to play the diagonals, because technically he's technically sound. But the problem that Tuchel's going to have with Kane is that if he tells Kane to play literally as the target man, yeah, then that's going to help the number 10 like a Morgan Rogers get on the ball and start, you know, driving with the ball from deep as well. But if Harry Kane wants to drop in and play as the 10 and start spraying balls, Harry Kane's going to need to rely on pace. So I personally think Tuchel needs to tell Harry Kane to stay up there as the target man and allow Morgan Rogers, Cole Palmer on the right and in the 10 to come into the game and pick up the ball and create. That's what needs to happen. But yeah, Harry Kane's a top player, man. He's a top player. Oh yeah, FA Cup. We got Brighton next game, FA Cup. Madueke has been better than Saka. He has. He should be starting ahead of Saka, but Arteta's in love with Saka, just like Clock Enders. So again, Madueke's got to bide his time, but Madueke has been more threatening than Saka, definitely. Will you do a watch along when Arsenal play Forest? They crumble at the City ground. No, I only watch winners. I only watch winners, man. Unfortunately, and again, yeah, don't be surprised if Arsenal flop at Forest as well. But no, I'll be doing a watch along for the Man United Arsenal game, no doubt, no doubt. Yep, Luis Enrique is another one. I forgot about Enrique because, guys, I heard that Enrique is not signing a new contract at PSG. And I tell you this now, if he's not signing a new contract at PSG, then he needs to be in the frame with De Zerbi for me. De Zerbi, Xavi, Zidane, Glasner, his name needs to be in there. I'd say go and get him. You know, another Spanish manager that's better than Mikel Arteta. I think when we look at Spanish managers right now, Arteta's probably fourth, because you got Pep, you've got Unai Emery, you've got Luis Enrique. So Arteta might just be fourth Unless I think of another Spanish manager that's probably better than him. Xabi Alonso. Well, Xabi Alonso's won a league title. So, yeah, Xabi Alonso can be in there as well. So, Arteta's 5th. Yeah, he's 5th. Yeah, put him 5th there, man. Gav, what do you think of Nagelsmann as manager next week? We play Arsenal, I think, and then City. Yeah, Nagelsmann's he's a good coach. He's a good coach for me. But again, he's Germany's manager, so he ain't gonna be able to get. I think I'm not sure how long his contract is for Germany, but it depends on how Germany probably do in the World Cup. Because if they do poor, then they might sack him or he might resign. Who knows? But yeah, he was someone that United were linked to time ago. But yeah, not for me now personally. Right, guys, I'm going to go through a few more of your comments before we wrap it up. Again, if you haven't smashed the like button, make sure you smash the like button and make sure you sub to the channel and make sure you share the channel, guys, as well. Nah, forget Southgate, man. Forget Southgate. We don't want that guy. It's not going to happen anyway. Jupp Heynckes. I think Jupp Heynckes is, I swear he's retired now. Jupp Heynckes. I swear he's retired now. Enzo Lefebvre, man, missing, trying to do the penalty. Good to see Sesko finally breaking his drought tonight. Boy, let's hope Gyökeres is doing the same tomorrow because, yeah, I mean, thank God we didn't sign that idiot because he's shit. So, yeah, man. Gav, do you think Ollie and Carrick will do well with this squad? Because I think they will do. Listen, if you're going to bring in Ollie by himself, I'm not with it, yeah? But if Carrick comes in with Ollie, then it's going to be a positive because we know what Carrick can do as a coach. And Ollie will just bring back the good times. So, as a combination, I'm not too fussed. But it can only be until the end of the season. I don't want to be seeing Ollie and Solskjaer being talked about as being a permanent solution for United, which I don't think Ineos are going to do. So if it's to the end of the season, I'm cool with it. Because this squad we have, with the 1 game a week, we should be getting top four now, I'm going to say, no problem. Because that top 4 race is an absolute joke now. Look at that. Liverpool are in the 4th, and they're only a point ahead of Man United. And Man United have had Ruben Amorim in place for the whole season. So, yeah, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. Yeah, I heard Evans is going to be part of it as well, yeah. But again, just if you want to get the old boys back, as a feel-good factor, then fair enough. But, yeah, it can only be to the end of the season. Sesko scored a nice goal today. He needs good delivery. Yeah. All right, listen, if we can get Luis Enrique, man, yeah, that would be good. If we can get Luis Enrique, yeah, I'm with that. Because Luis Enrique is a top manager. Luis Enrique is one of the best managers in the world. He is. So, the fact he's not signing, he wants a new challenge. Yeah, I'm with it. But guys, anyway, we're gonna wrap it up. Big up to everyone coming on. Big up to all the deluded ones that come on as well. But yeah, we're gonna be back tomorrow, guys. Obviously, gonna watch the Arsenal Liverpool game and then do a reaction to that. And again, pressure's on Arsenal. If they win, 8 points clear of City and Aston Villa, and it's gonna be looking up for them. But what I will say is, if they don't beat Liverpool, it's going to be 5 or 6 points, and it's still going to be all to play for. I'm telling you. So, yeah, I just hope that for Clockenders' sake, Arsenal win. Because if not, I want to see the same energy tomorrow, man. But guys, make sure you're smashing the like button. Make sure you're subbing to the channel. Make sure you're sharing the channel as well. And as I said, we should be back tomorrow. I might have someone else back on tomorrow as well. Not sure yet. But as I said, yeah, make sure you guys come through. Probably be same sort of time. Obviously, the Arsenal game's at 8 o'clock tomorrow. So I'll be looking forward to that, watching that game. And we'll see what happens, because Liverpool have been in poor form, you know, and Arsenal have been just nicking results. So they're at home. Everything's in their favour. So let's see what they can do. So, but yeah, big up to all the mods each and every time. Big up to everyone. As I said, smash the like, sub to the channel, share the channel, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Take it easy.